Welcome back to the Rich Nonprofit. This is straight talk for mission-driven leaders. It is December, y'all. You made it through Thanksgiving, Black Friday, family possibly, all the things. And now, in this weird space between holiday chaos and New Year's, something may be bubbling up. That idea, you know the one. The nonprofit that you've been sketching out in your head for a few years, that feeling in your soul that you want to create something new, about a foundation that you want to launch, but you've been telling yourself, not yet. This movement you see so clearly, but can't quite explain without feeling like you're rambling. Yeah, that one. It's probably showing up again now that it's the holidays. Right when you finally have a minute to breathe, right when you're not drowning in Q4 reports, year-end campaigns, or figuring out if your kids and family need matching pajamas for your holiday card. Hey, if you're into that, that's cool. My kids, they never would do that with me. And you're probably doing what you always do, pushing it back down. January, after the next revenue goal, when the kids are older, when you have more time, when you figure out how to clone yourself, right? Yeah, I wish I could do that. But that idea that won't leave you alone, it's not going anywhere. It may be time to stop treating it like an inconvenience and start recognizing it for what it is. Your next chapter. And it wants attention. When clients come to me with these persistent ideas, they are usually successful women who have built an impressive business or nonprofit, multiple six figures, have their team in place, systems are running, and from the outside, they've got it all figured out. But if they are carrying around this idea that they want to create more impact, or they want to start a foundation, a movement, and they usually can't shake it. And every December when things slow down just enough to think, it surfaces. I've seen it. And then every January, they bury it under new business goals. And they tell me things like, Lisa, I know I'm successful, but I feel like there's something more that I want to do. But then they don't do it. And we talk about it. And I say, ouch. Because this is what happens when you ignore these ideas that won't leave you alone. You can totally be crushing it in business, make all the money, get all the accolades, and still feel a little empty because you know you're supposed to be doing something more, something that uses everything you've learned, everything you've survived, everything you've built. Now, okay, December. Why December? Why do these ideas always surface now? Because that's when we remember who we were. We get a little time to slow down and remember before we got so good at being and doing what we were supposed to be doing and making that money, which is great. Of course, we want to make the money. How else are we going to buy our kids all those holiday gifts and go and travel and take time off? But these persistent ideas show up when our defenses are down, right? When we actually slow down and we're tired enough to stop performing 24/7. When we are quiet enough to hear what's calling us. And if you're thinking, great, yeah, you're right, but I have 17 ideas. How do I know which one is the one? Well, the idea that is calling you, that is yours to go and fulfill, this is how I look at it. It has three qualities. First, it's connected to your lived experience. Not something you think would be, nice to do. Not something you saw someone else do and thought, well, I could do that better. And maybe you have, because I've seen clients do that and they do it better. But it's because it's connected to something that they have lived through, survived, witnessed up to close, want to make better. Second, this idea, it makes you uncomfortable. Not scared, although fear might be there also. Uncomfortable because it requires you to be visible in a way that you maybe haven't been before. It requires you to own your story, your expertise, your authority in a space where Maybe you can't hide behind business success. You might be starting over in a different field here. So when I'm working with clients articulating their mission for the first time, it's very emotional. They cry, not sad tears, recognition tears. The tears that come when you finally say out loud this vision and this mission that you've been carrying inside for sometimes years. And third, this idea, it's not going to let you delegate it. If you had handed this off, you would have by now. And maybe you've tried. Well, I'll just donate, or I'll just join a board. I'll just write a check. Okay, that's great, and that's helpful. But this isn't going to work long-term because your idea isn't about contributing to someone else's vision. It's about creating and fulfilling your own. And I know you are not someone who shrinks from hard things. You've built your business. You've maybe raised a family. You've managed teams. You've navigated challenges that would break most people. So why is this the thing you keep putting off? It's not about strategy. You know strategy. It's not about capability. You're more than capable. It's not even about time. Though I know that you will argue with me on that one because, hey, I do that all the time with my mentor. I don't have time. Yes, if we really want to do something, we find the time. So what's it really about? It's about identity. Launching this means admitting business success isn't all there is. It means acknowledging that making money is no longer the end goal. It's no longer sufficient. It means stepping into a version of yourself that your current circle might not understand. Your business colleagues and friends might not get why you're complicating things with starting a nonprofit. Your nonprofit friends might judge you for coming from the business world. And your family might be like, really, you're going to take on another thing? And you're worried that if you say this out loud and actually commit, you're going to have to become someone different. Someone who holds both profit and purpose. Someone who builds wealth and creates change. Someone who doesn't have to choose between success and legacy and impact. And that can be terrifying, but that's exactly why you need to do it. The idea isn't the point. The becoming is the point. Who you become when you stop negotiating with your calling and you start building it, that is the point. Even if you don't know where to start, you can't articulate what that thing is supposed to be, that's okay. That doesn't mean you're not ready. Clarity doesn't come from thinking. Clarity comes from speaking and saying the messy, imperfect, not quite right version out loud to someone you trust and who can help you shape it. When women come to me with ideas they can't quite explain, I don't ask them for their mission statements. I don't ask them for business plans, please. No, I ask them, hey, can you just stop trying to explain it in circles and just tell me what pisses you off? And then they go off about girls in their community not knowing certain careers even exist, about being put into traditional roles before they even have a choice, about watching people make the same mistakes they made because nobody is there to support and mentor them, about systems that fail the people that they claim to serve, about having to fight for respect in rooms where their expertise should be obvious. This is pure, unfiltered frustrations. Why is this still happening? Somebody needs to do something. If I had the resources, I would. And so I wait, and then I say, well, there's your mission. Now let's build strategy around it. Because the idea that won't leave you alone isn't going to be neat and tidy. It's not going to be a business plan yet. It's a frustration, an injustice, a gap that you can't stop seeing. A solution you know exists because you have lived it. And now back to December. So December is actually the perfect time to stop procrastinating about it and pushing it down. While everyone else is planning 2026 revenue goals, and well, that's just not going to cut it anymore. Everyone else is thinking scale, and you're quietly over here thinking significance, impact, legacy. Everyone else is asking, how much money can they make next year? You're asking yourself, for what? What's it all for? That is evolution. The idea that won't leave you alone isn't waiting for you to be ready. You're already prepared. You've been ready. You just have to stop waiting for someone to tell you it's a good idea. Or, hey, I'm here to tell you it's probably a damn good idea. But you've got to stop waiting for that perfect time. Stop waiting for all the answers to suddenly appear. You know, you're smart. You're a business person. You know that's not going to happen. First, you have to see it, do it, start it, and then you're going to see the how. And if you're thinking, okay, great, but what if I try and it doesn't work? Well, it's already not working because every day you don't pursue this, it's not working. Every day you push it down and tell yourself, someday it's not working. Every day you carry this idea around in your soul like a secret. Instead of building it like a legacy, it's not working. The only failure, and I tell my kids this, is not trying. Besides, mission-driven women, we don't really fail. We pivot, we adjust, we figure it out, and we make it work. But fail, that is not our thing. So this nonprofit, this foundation, this movement that you want to build, you're not going to fail at it. Sure, you might struggle. You might have to pivot. I did. You might cry in your car after a board meeting, but fail? No. Because the idea that won't leave you alone isn't just an idea. It's a calling. And callings don't let you fail. They keep calling until you answer. The question isn't whether you will do this. You will. The question is when. And how much more time are you going to waste pretending that you won't? I sat on the Rich Nonprofit podcast idea for 2 years. 2 years. Kept telling myself I needed to finish this first, achieve that first, figure other things out first, be a mom, do my little business. So what finally prompted me to launch my podcast? I realized that I was becoming someone I didn't want to be. Someone with solutions who wasn't sharing them. Someone who could help, but wasn't helping at the capacity I knew I could help. Someone who knew better and was doing a little bit better, but not as big as I could. That's not who I am. And I know that's not who you are. Your idea that isn't leaving you alone is your next level, trying to break through. And your purpose, it wants expression. Your legacy, it wants to be built. So in December, in this in-between time when everything slows down just enough for truth to surface, this is your moment. Okay, sure, you could wait, new year, new me, but why? Why wait? You want to do it now while the idea is hot, while the frustration is fresh, while the calling is clear. Because in January, we all get busy again. Business urgency takes over, the noise gets loud, and that idea goes back underground for another year. So instead of pushing it down, what if you pulled it out? Instead of not yet, what if you said to yourself, now? Instead of waiting, you took action. It doesn't have to be a big action. But what if this idea that won't leave you alone is supposed to define your next decade? Because I think it is. I believe that these ideas that we're carrying around that surface when we get quiet, the ones that make us equally excited and terrified, that is our real work. Everything else, the business, the success, the skills that we keep trying to accumulate by buying programs or digital, online, dumb worksheets. That was all prep. We're getting ready for this. You're getting ready for this. But guess what? Now you're ready. So my challenge for you this week, before more holiday chaos completely takes over, do one thing. Say it out loud. Tell someone, your partner, your best friend, your journal, your dog, me. Send me a DM on Instagram or LinkedIn, but say it out loud. I want to start a nonprofit that. I want to launch a foundation for. I want to build a movement around. Say the messy version, the imperfect version, the version that doesn't quite make sense yet. Not some elevator pitch or your Instagram bio. No, messy. Because the moment you start to say it out loud, it becomes real. And once it's real, you can build it. It's not going anywhere. So how much longer are you going to make your idea wait? And your idea isn't just about solving a problem. It's about you becoming who you're supposed to be, using everything you've learned, everything you've built, everything that you have gone through in service of something bigger than your own success. And this isn't a distraction from your business. That's the point of your business, to give you resources, connections, and the platform to do what you're actually here to do. So please, stop negotiating with yourself. Stop waiting. Stop pretending this idea will go away. It won't. It'll show up again every December, every quiet moment, every time you hit another business goal and still feel a little empty inside until you build it. This is not a burden. This idea is your blueprint for your impact and legacy. I will see you next time on The Rich Nonprofit.